Okay, let's talk about pop, because honestly, there's a huge contradiction floating around. Is it money? Is it something else entirely? You hear people talking about it one way, but the way it's actually built, well, that's a whole different story. So today, we're going to clear the air, get to the bottom of this, and figure out what pop really is. And this brings us to the big question, the one that seems to be causing all the confusion. Is pop a currency? I mean, can you actually trade it? Can you exchange it like any other token? And look, this isn't just some academic debate. The answer to this question has, well, it has massive implications for the entire system. And when I say massive, I mean it. Getting this wrong could literally cause the whole system to collapse. Seriously, if we fundamentally misunderstand what pop is at its core, the entire design could just unravel. The stakes really couldn't be any higher. All right, so let's dive right in and tackle the biggest myth head on, the money misconception. We're going to break down exactly why thinking of pop as a tradable asset is just the wrong way to go. And we'll get into why people make that mistake in the first place. Just look at this side by side. It's pretty stark, right? With money, you can do all the usual stuff. Trade it on open markets, price it against fiat, speculate, arbitrage, the whole shebang. But pop? It is literally designed from the ground up to prevent all of that. You can't trade it, you can't price it, you can't speculate on it, and this isn't a mistake or a bug, it's a core feature of the design. So all that stuff that Poppet can't do, there's a name for it. Economic exchange. Being traded on open markets, priced against other tokens, being speculated upon, or even just hoarded for resale. That's the world of finance, of capital. Poppet was built specifically to exist completely outside of that framework. And this really boils it all down to one simple, powerful statement. Pop is not money, so it cannot behave like money. That's it. Trying to treat it like a currency is like, trying to use a key to hammer in a nail. You're just using the wrong tool for the job, and you're completely missing the point of what it's for. Okay, so if pop isn't money, if it's not about economic exchange, then what is it? What's the right way to think about it? Well, to really get it, we need a whole new mental model. We need a new concept, a new word, and that word is redemption. This right here is the key. It's the big mental shift we all need to make. You don't exchange pop, you redeem it. Civic redemption, it's just the act of consuming your pop to gain access, or add weight to your vote, or simply participate in some civic environment. The crucial part is that it is not an exchange for other assets. You're not getting money back. You're using it to unlock something. Need an analogy? Okay, think of it like admission credits, right? You earn some credits, and then you use them to get into, say, a special event or a workshop. Once you're in, the credit is gone. You can't turn around and sell your used ticket stub to somebody else. It was consumed for access. Simple as that. Or here's another one. Think of them as civic vouchers. Let's say you get a voucher for a specific service, like a class at a community center. You redeem it for that class, and boom, the voucher is used up. It's gone. You couldn't have sold that voucher on some open market because its value was tied only to that one specific use. Or, if you want to get a little more technical, you could even think of POP as non-transferable credentials. It's like a certificate that proves you did something, but it's a special certificate you can cash in for access or rights. Once you cash it in, that credential has done its job. It's been used. See the pattern here? The whole point of POP is to fuel interaction within the system. It's a vehicle for participation, not a tool for financial gain. Its value lies in what you can do with it, not what you can sell it for. It's exactly like the quote says, POP is redeemed into experiences, access, or rights, not exchanged into other assets. That's the core idea. Okay, that's the theory. But theory is one thing. Let's see how this works in practice. How does this redemption idea actually play out in the real world? Let's look at redemption in action. So here's a perfect example, an education module. Let's say a Nodecraft module requires 50 POP to get in. A node, maybe you, decides to enter. What happens? Those 50 POP are consumed. They're burned or locked. They don't go to some teacher's wallet. They're just gone. And in return, you're granted access. The POP was the key, and you just used it to unlock the door. And this redemption model is actually super versatile. Take a look. For something like weighted voting, your POP might not even get consumed. It's just referenced as weight. It's not transferred anywhere. For a local business, you might redeem POP for a service, but notice the POP is consumed by the module, not sent to the business as income. For compute access, it might just unlock an eligibility tier. You're not actually exchanging it for the compute power. The one constant across all these scenarios, POP's fate is never to be transferred to another person. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Redemption, not exchange. But why? Why is this rule so important? What's the big deal? Well, this non-transfer rule isn't just some random design choice. It is everything. It's the one thing that protects the whole system from becoming something it was never meant to be. So let's play this out. Let's just imagine for a second. What if POP was transferable? What if you could send it from your wallet to a friend's wallet, peer-to-peer, just like any other token? What would actually happen? Well, the outcome is pretty stark. The whole system would collapse straight into capitalism. Black markets would emerge almost instantly. Coercion would become a real threat. Inequality would get amplified because the wealthy could just buy up all the POP, and therefore all the influence. POP would stop being a civic tool and would become just another form of capital. The entire experiment would be over. And that's why we have the core principle, the single rule that holds this entire thing together. POP is non-transferable between humans, but it is redeemable into civic environments. You can't give it to your neighbor, but you can give it to a module. It's like a firewall, protecting the civic purpose of the entire system. So understanding this is step one, but step two is just as important. We need to start using the right language. The words we choose literally shape how we think and act. So to build the right system, we have to use the right words. Let's talk about the new official language. And look, this is not just about being picky, okay? This is about being precise and structurally accurate. We have to actively remove words like exchange POP or transfer POP from our vocabulary. Instead, we should be saying redeem POP, consume POP, or apply POP. Using the correct vocabulary helps everyone build and maintain the right mental model. This life cycle really drives the point home. Look at the flow. First, you earn POP by participating. Then you hold it as a credential, as proof of your contribution. Then you redeem it to get access or add weight. And finally, if it's unused, it might even expire, which is a great way to discourage hoarding. It's a beautiful, closed loop. It is not an open market. So, all of this brings us to the revised canonical rule. This is the official statement that clears up all the confusion once and for all. It says, POP cannot be bought, sold, traded, or economically exchanged, full stop. POP may be redeemed, consumed, or applied within Nodecraft modules as access, weight, or participation credit. It's perfectly clear, no more ambiguity. Because at the end of the day, POP was never designed to make individuals rich with money. It was designed to make the entire community richer in participation. So now that we're all on the same page, now that we know POP is about participation, not profit, it really opens up an amazing question, doesn't it? What new kinds of civic environments could we actually build with this? What new doors can we unlock now that we have the right key?